Hi, this is Joe with another video. And for this particular video, I'm gonna do this video for my Big Six Towers shareholders page. I haven't done a video for that page for a while, so I figured to do one. So it's easier for me to, I know I repeat this a few times, it's easier for me to upload it to YouTube and then link it over to Facebook. Of course, this is my first video for the Big Six shareholders page after the board election, which of course, big surprise, big shock to a lot of people that I lost again for the board. But the reason that, and I stated this in a post already, as to why a lot of people think, because I have been approached by a few shareholders, and they don't understand why I don't win, why I ran for the board 5 times, and I lost all 5 times, and not only that, but I don't even come close to even getting close to winning. I don't get within, let's say within 5 to 10 votes of probably winning. It's like 100 votes, or more than 100 votes, in some cases. This year, technically it was the 2022 election. It was only about like 59 votes short of tying for Howard for 3rd place, and people don't understand that. So, how come I'm dozens of votes short, and not hundreds of votes short of getting elected? I mean, with people who have never ran for the board before, and we had 2 people who never ran for the board before, and both of them. I mean, I'm not knocking Miss Williams or Nelson. I'm not knocking them at all. But believe me, I am not knocking them at all. All right, I'm not criticizing them at all. But those 2 have never ran for the board before, and both of them got, have a lot more votes than I had. In Nelson's case, he got, I think, about like 58 or 59 votes more than, she's got about like less than 30 votes than I had. She got more than about 3 votes more than I did. And Miss Williams, she got the second most votes. And people don't understand that. How come these people get so many more votes than you do? So I mean, when you read your bio, or I've seen the video you did for the Big Six website, it seems you know what you're talking about. But unfortunately, you don't get elected. And that's why I wanted to, maybe go into further detail in this video. There's several reasons why, because if I put all this details in a post on Facebook, I'd be typing from now to next week. I mean that's how much details I like to put in these things. That's how much details I want, because I don't want to lie. I don't want to make anything up. And believe me, I am not in the habit. I know people get ticked off at me for singling out certain people, and I discussed this with my sister this morning, because there's one particular family here in Big Six, the Hellman family, which I discussed every now and then. People who, it's one of the reasons why I don't get elected, or haven't been able to get the breaks enough to get elected to the board here. That's because of the beef, of the grudge that went on between Jimmy Hellman's family and I. Started because I had the nerve to throw Jimmy off the page, and he was literally the first person I ever threw off the page. For those of you who are not on the page at the time, I will briefly mention why. I do mean briefly, because Jimmy, what happened was that Jimmy was constantly criticizing the page. And it wasn't because of anything I particularly posted, or if anybody else particularly posted, who was on the page back then. Is because it was like the little itty bitty things that for some stupid reason, which of course we never going to get the answer to because he says he passed away. We're never really going to get an answer to these questions, or resolving these issues. But what Jimmy used to do is that he used to like nitpick over every little thing that was going on the page. He would complain. There was at one point we had now we have over 300 members on the page now. But at that time I had maybe 39 people on the page then. And this is back in 2014. I had maybe about 39 people on the page then. And so Jimmy was complaining, oh, how come we only have 39 people on this page? And stuff like that. And I said, so I told him that I'm relying on word of mouth. As soon as word of mouth gets on this page, people are going to be asking to join and that type of thing. Which is, of course, what happened. I mean, we have, like I said, I have about 300 people on the page now. So when other than Alan Rabinowitz's page, I have the second most of all the Big Six pages on Facebook. I have the second most of second most amount of members on the page. So Jimmy would complain about that, and then he would complain about stuff that and eventually he was complaining about what I posted. Now, especially about the stray cat issue. And so Jimmy was complaining, oh, this is not a Big Six issue, this type of thing. He said, hey, it's Jimmy, hey, it's happening on Big Six property. It's a Big Six issue. A Big Six issue, I should say. But he would constantly complain over it. That I would post something that he felt is not a Big Six Towers issue, which it was. And I had people complaining, what Jimmy was posting, and they was criticizing me, criticizing the page. It was getting his. I think maybe because of the fact that he didn't like the fact that somebody. I know if Jimmy had ever had the idea of creating his own Big Six page or whatever the situation was. But either way, I did it before he did. In terms of a current shareholder creating a Facebook page that is. So I guess he got annoyed over that. And he also got annoyed that at the time, how come there weren't any current board members on here, or how come there wasn't anybody from management on here? So I told him, I said the board and management has nothing to do with any page on Facebook, or any accounts on YouTube, or Twitter, or TikTok, or anything else, because they didn't have TikTok at that time. Big Six has nothing to do with the social media accounts, social media platforms, I should say, because they don't want to, as a rule, they don't want board members to blurt out on social media what certain shareholders are doing. Let's say if a shareholder is behind in the maintenance or that sort of thing, or they did something that damaged the apartment, or do damage to the co-op in general. They don't want to post that stuff on social media because it'd be violating the privacy of said shareholder. That's why they don't have anything to do with Facebook or YouTube or anything else. So Jimmy just got stuck in his core about it, and then he was attacking me for absolutely no reason at all. He was attacking me. So I gave him, I don't know how many warnings, about 5 or 6 warnings. I said, Jimmy, if you keep this up, you're not going to leave me much of a choice but to kick you off the page. And of course, he said, you don't have the authority to kick me off. Meanwhile, I eventually did. And so he got annoyed, and when he found out they kicked him off the page, he didn't walk. He ran to the management office. He complained to them, and he complained to security. How dare you have this guy run the page like this? So they told him, I said, look, it's just a shareholder who created this page. He has no authority to. We don't have anything to do with Facebook because what I just explained. I said if a shareholder wants to create a page, a shareholder can create a Facebook page. It's up to him. It's up to the shareholder you're complaining about. And if he wants to kick you, if you did something wrong that ticked him off, he is perfectly within his rights, and according to the confines of Facebook, he is perfectly within his rights to throw you off the page, which is what he did. But fortunately, him and his whole family started attacking me because they had the nerve to throw Jimmy off the page. All of them had a grudge because of how dare I throw him off the page, that type of thing. And then his daughter, who was then under, I think she's overage now, because it's been almost 8 years since Jimmy had passed away. So I think she was like 7 at the time, and now she's like approximately 14 or 15 years old now, depending on her birthday is. So now since she's over 13 years old now, approximately 14, 15 years old now, she could now have her own Facebook account. By that time, she was underage. She was like approximately 6 years old at the time, 5, 6 years old at the time. She had her own Facebook account. And of course, anybody knows anything about Facebook, you have to be at least 13 years old to have your own Facebook account. So I found out about it and I reported to Facebook saying, hey, she got a Facebook page, and she's underage, and Facebook found out about it and they removed the account. So what Jimmy did was he came into, we were in different buildings. He lives in building 5, I live in building 3. He somehow got into building 3, got in the elevator, rolled it to the 14th floor, which is the floor I have my apartment on, the 14th floor. He walked over to my door and wrote in, it looks like a Sharpie or a magic marker, wrote "Joe is gay" on my apartment door and put a fish on the doorknob. Unfortunately, nobody actually saw him. It just by a matter of seconds missed Jimmy by writing this on my door by a matter of seconds, if not a few minutes. Missed him writing this on my door and put a fish on my door. Somebody reported to security. Well, my neighbors who was living on the floor at the time reported to security, and I called the police, made a police report, and I named him as the person who did, and security had him on camera being in the building at the time of this incident. He got on and off the floor at the time of the approximate time this happened. So it was him. And naturally, I wanted him to pay for it, but unfortunately, he passed away like about a little more than a year later. He passed away. But the majority of his family is still living here. And around that time, I know it's a long story, but around that time, I took a picture of the playground between building 6 and 7. And of course, I never posted. I deleted the picture. I never posted on Facebook or even onto my computer. It was just a wide photograph. You see there's like a wide video I'm doing here. That's about what I took of the playground, a wide photograph. I didn't focus on any particular kid who was playing in the playground at the time. I didn't do it. I didn't focus on one particular kid. That took a full widescreen photograph of the playground to show, put it on the Facebook page here, and say, oh, look, all the kids is in the playground, because you're never going to see that for the rest of the summer. Because it was the first full day the kids were off for summer vacation, and I wanted to post a positive photograph on the page. That was my intention. Meanwhile, the aunt of the Jimmy's daughter saw me take the picture and thought that I was perfectly taking a picture of the kid. I didn't even know what a kid looked like, to tell you the truth. But the aunt, or I think it was either Jimmy's sister or sister-in-law, complained to security, but she is, I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to do it, she did. And, you know, security told me they might get a visit from the police department on this. Well, it was on Friday, all night Friday, nothing happened. Saturday, nothing happened. Sunday, nothing happened. And by Monday, I talked to security and said, look, the cops never showed up to my door. And he said, and Jerry from Public Safety says to me, oh, if they don't show up by now, they're never going to do it. Because I was on a public street, okay? I was on the 60th Street side of, you know, the playground, which is a public street. So the law is this chair, as creepy as you may think it is. If you're on a public street, and I happen to have a camera with me, or if I'm taking pictures of my cell phone, I can take pictures as much as I want because there's no limit on it. I can take pictures of who I want, when I want, whatever I'm photographing. And if you happen to walk in, you know, in the middle of me taking a picture, it's your tough luck and my tough luck. Like if I'm taking a picture of Central Park and somebody is walking in front of me, or if somebody is sunbathing, I'm taking you know, like a wide photograph like I did in the playground, I'm retired to do it. If you're in a public area. And that's what this was. And I've been labeled, I know there's a long story. I know some of you have heard the story before, and I apologize for it. That if you're in a public place, your picture could be taken. Okay? So I have been labeled by the Hellman family and been labeled as a pervert, a pedophile, and a kid toucher. And that was the point I was making on the Facebook page. And there was one person who insists threw off because she went over the top with it. And she says, oh, how dare you go after Jimmy Hellman? How dare you go after the Hellman family? Yada, yada. And he said, look, I'm not going after Jimmy. I'm going after his family because his family is pushing the story, calling me a pervert, calling me a kid toucher, calling me and any of you who've known me, and those of you who have voted for me over the years and have supported me, knows that it's not true. Knows that I don't hang out with kids. I don't do any of that stuff. So I've been labeled something I'm not, and which is what. And when I fight back like that, or when I do these videos, or when I post on the page here, I get blasted for it because how dare you go after a guy who's been dead for 8 years? You know, and all this, how dare you go after Jimmy Hellman? He's been dead for 8 years. How can you do that? And I said, look, true, Jimmy died 8 years ago, but he was the one who started this nonsense with me, and his family picked up the mantle and started attacking me on this stuff. And unfortunately, I have to defend myself by doing these videos or doing these posts. And I'm sorry if you get, offended by it. But I'm telling the truth. I'm telling my side of the story, okay? And that's what Jimmy's family has been doing, and it's a shame. It's a shame that this nonsense is still going on. I still get labeled for it. And if you go on my YouTube channel, if you watch my videos, you notice that over the past, I think, 4 or 5 years, you have not been nobody able to make any comments on any videos because Jimmy's family had been writing comments calling me a pervert and a kid toucher, or saying stuff like, "Oh, this video is brought to you by Perverts Incorporated," and I mean it's that type of thing. And one person who likes my movie reviews wrote a comment on an old video saying, "Oh, how come you're not allowing people write comments anymore?" I told him why, and he can't believe it. I said I didn't want to do it, but I feel that this particular family, or the Hellman family, is taking advantage of the fact that I'm allowing people to make comments, and they make all types of comments, and what stays on social media, or what's posted on social media, is usually stays there. So there's nothing I could do to except maybe to report it to YouTube that these people were making these nasty comments and calling me a pervert and everything else, and I'm just trying to entertain people, but giving my point of view on certain movies or TV shows or whatever I'm commenting on. And of course, there's one particular reason why I don't get elected. The other reason why I don't get elected is because of the fact that, of course, of my so-called lack of experience, which of course is silly because you just have one person who was elected. And like I said earlier, I'm not knocking Miss Williams at all. I don't really know her. She's only been living here for about 3 years, and she gets elected to the board. She's been living here, I think, less than 10 years. And I've been here 50 years. And I can't get elected to the board. How can somebody who lives here, not even a tenth of the time that I lived here, she gets elected to the board and I don't? Which is, part of my frustration. I'm not getting elected. And like I said, I'm not knocking her at all. So how can somebody who hasn't been living here as long as I have, because it's true, if you look at all the board, the current board that we have right now, nobody has lived here as long as I have. There's not one board member or current board member, I should say, who has been living here as long as I have, and they all get elected to the board, and I can't. And that's one of the other things that people can't understand as to why I can't get elected, and that's because, if you have a choice between myself and this other person, who would you pick? I mean, if you ask 100 shareholders, who would you rather have on the board, Howard, Geary, or me? And I was saying about 99 of them will probably pick, between 95 and 100, and between 95 and 99 people will probably pick Howard over me. And I mean, it's extremely I have to admit, it's extremely frustrating that we have this type of crap going on, that you rather have a piece of human garbage like Howard Geary on the board of directors than me. And I mean, people, I have plenty of shareholders come up to me and says, and they just don't understand why I can't get elected. That's one thing that that's one thing I want to talk about is the so-called experience. Hey, I've been here 50 years. Alright? That's 50 years, that's half of a century's worth of experience living in this community. Alright? I know full well the history of this co-op. I know that there have been shareholders, board members over the years who have gotten away with all kinds of nonsense. Okay? And they have not, been punished for it. I don't know why. They're not. There's been certain shareholders that got away with, like Halifax, and which I'm going to discuss this in a minute. The certain shareholders have gotten away with stuff. They have not been punished for it, and meanwhile, there have been shareholders in the past, in the recent past, and let's say the last 20 years, who have been punished for doing things. But Howard Geary has not been punished for it. And let me tell you what I referred to an incident on the last post I was talking about, particularly Howard. We're going to discuss in a minute, because the rest of this video will be discussing how I hope I get this thing under an it's almost over 24 minutes now. There's one post that somebody had written claiming they called Howard Geary a thief. Which, if you look at the posts that I have done, even the videos that I have done on Howard, I have never once called the guy a thief before. Well, now you can honestly say I'm going to call him that right now in this video. Because what happened was we had, during the times that we had, before the virus, we used to have the pumpkin patch events here. And one of the organizers of the pumpkin patch and haunted house events that we had here in the co-op, for the kids for Halloween, she raised money, through the pumpkin patch and haunted house events. The money that was raised for those events, or through those events, was supposed to go to fixing up the two playgrounds that we have here in Big Six Towers. One by Building 4, or behind Building 4, and of course the so-called bigger one, the bigger playground by Building by Building 6 and 7. And that money was supposed to go to put it towards renovating those two playgrounds. Fine. That doesn't bother me, because it's like older playgrounds, and you want to have, something decent, something a little bit safer, for the kids here. Fine. That didn't bother me. There was raising money for it. But the problem was that Howard Geary, who was the treasurer on the board at that time, did not take that money and put it towards fixing the playgrounds. He didn't do it. He took that money and put it towards other projects that was needed. That he claimed was needed for the co-op. Fixing up, putting towards the power plant, or fixing up towards other repairs that need to be done. Because he felt that the playgrounds weren't necessary to be fixed up, in his opinion. So he took the money that was raised to fix the playgrounds and put it towards other other projects. So if you want to criticize, everybody should criticize the whole board for it, because the money is supposed to go for the playgrounds, and meanwhile the board put that money towards everything else. So I never actually called, I still haven't called Howard Geary a thief. It's just that they took the money for the playgrounds and put it towards something else. If you want to call that being a thief about, I let you guys call him a thief on that. I never call, even though we have plenty of issues with Howard. Particularly, I did a video previously that of him having me arrested. Did a whole video on that. Please check out the video on my YouTube channel if you want to see the whole details. I'm not going to go through it again on here. But repeat this point. I would not have been arrested at all if Howard Geary didn't call the 108 precinct every day for over a month, demanding that I be arrested. That's what happened. I'm not denying what I did. I mean, I did shove him. I did knock him on his rear end. But that's all I did. Because I told him, get out of my face. He refused to move. Instead of backing up, he got closer to me. And on the third time, I said to him, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to shove you out of my face. And he got even closer. And he said, okay, you asked for it. And I shoved him. And that's all she wrote. Okay? And then Howard accused me of abusing my elderly father, which of course is not true. And he's spouting off all this other nonsense to me, saying that I abused my elderly father, abused elderly people here. But of course, I'm friendly with a lot of the elderly people here in Big Six. Maybe not all of them, but we're friendly to some of them, and they don't mind me. I mean, we not don't hang out, but we are friendly to each other. So that's called abusing your elders. I don't know what it is. And I don't go around beating up elderly people. Just Howard maybe. But I was defending myself in that situation. But the thing is that I cannot understand why 223 of you I would like some answers. And even though I asked about it at the time, nobody answered this question for me. Is that why would you guys vote for somebody like this? I would never ever fully understand why 223 shareholders voted for Howard Geary. I can never ever, especially after what happened, the year before or the election before, where I forgot what the actual. I guess I could look up on the Big Six website, but I forgot how many votes he received the year before. I think it was about 150 something votes the year before, and he got voted because Trulia had 8 people running in 2021. He had more people running, so the chances are the more people running, the less votes you could possibly get because you're competing with so many other people. But this time we only have 5 people running. Technically we had 6. I'll get to that in a second because I want to compare. I forgot I want to compare the rules or force because one board member and not Howard. Let me get back to what I don't want to forget to mention it. The rules I'm talking about is there was one board member who I know I'm going to get flack for saying this, but it happened to be one former board member who was on the board, and he was the board member who, or should I say, shareholder who ran for the board and dropped out. Was named Bill Kriegler. Of course, Bill and I had issues over the years as well, but I think everything now is a little bit, is definitely better than what there was, a few years ago. But I'm not saying anything that isn't true. When Bill was on the board, he got re-elected to the board back in 2016, just 7 years ago. And when he got back on the board, he wanted to be on the chairman of the Public Safety and Finance Committees. And the thing is that he is banned from serving on those 2 committees. And if you want to see more what I'm talking about, in the November 2016 minutes, you can look it up on the Big Six website, and look up November 2016 in the board minutes, and it goes into more detail than I'm going to go into here. The reason why Bill was off of the Public Safety Committee was because of me. The reason why is because I have posted a notice or a flyer asking people about Bill. I wrote it as a campaign letter because Bill, in his bio back in 2000, let's go back to 2008. 8 years earlier, go back to 2008. When Bill ran for the board back in 2008, he ran on a campaign saying, that he's the only honest board member who won't lie or deceive anybody. I took that and ran. And he said, let's take a close look at that. Because it was at the time when Bill was fighting with the rest of the board about the refinancing. And Bill was the only, board member who voted against the refinancing. Which is, he was perfectly, I want to make this point clear. I never once criticized Bill for voting against the refinancing. Because I felt that was his choice as a board member. If he felt it was a bad idea, then fine. It's a bad. Then he was perfectly within his right to vote against it as a board member. Okay, and perfectly within his right to do so. The problem was that Bill wanted to have a shareholder vote for refinancing because he felt that all shareholders should vote for refinancing. The problem is that in our bylaws, shareholders cannot vote on refinancing. We can only vote on board elections, changes in our bylaws, and equity. Equity is not refinancing. It's like two separate. It's like comparing apples and oranges. With financing and equity. It's like comparing apples and oranges. So to speak. But Bill pushed and pushed and pushed, and he got Big Six. We spent about $10,000 for this election because we don't have the ballot company we have now. We had an honest ballot at that time. We had to spend money on them. We had to spend for them to print out notices and ballots for it. We rented out PS11, which we were still doing at that time. Renting out PS11, renting out a bus to take people over to PS11, overtime for public safety. We were running security for this meeting, and approximately about 40 people showed up, and so because you had to vote specifically at that meeting, and because we didn't get ballots in the mail, we had to physically show up to PS11 to vote, and of course not everybody is going to go down there and vote, or bother to go down to PS11 to vote. So it turned out to be an epic disaster. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a disaster for Bill. Unfortunately, it would be very interesting if Bill had gotten the support that he would get from when he ran for the board, get that type of a support and have that type of a crowd to go who votes for him, who would normally vote for him for the board election, to show up at PS11 to vote for the financing vote they was pushing for. So I posted up a notice. Anyway, long story short, I posted up this notice about it, and he wasn't honest enough to tell us about this, and this, and dispute, and I went point by point disputing what he had written, and so Bill wanted me to be hauled down to the public safety office to be interrogated over this. And public safety told him that they couldn't drag me down to the office because of the fact that it was a posting of campaign literature. According to the board's lawyers that we had at that time, I don't know if it's the same law firm, but the board's lawyers that we had said that it's a legal posting of campaign literature. I have every right to post something like that, and I wrote it exactly like it was the campaign notice. And I kept it current and kept it what it was. I only posted it in just building 3. I didn't post it in other buildings. That's why probably most of you probably don't remember that notice I posted, because it was only in one building. And because of that, Bill got thrown off and I think he also wanted the management office staff to haul me down to the management office for it. They wouldn't do it, and because Bill got upset over it, and because I was criticizing him. So he got upset over that. So like I said, I'm not denying anything I did, because I did it, but he wanted me to hold down for office, and because of that, he got suspended from the Public Safety Committee for it. Now, the reason why he was suspended for a ban from the Finance Committee was because when he was the treasurer at the time, it was about 2003 and 2004, so 20 years ago. Big Six, we were fixing up the terraces at that time. I couldn't use my terrace for about like 10 months. All my living room air conditioner. So the whole summer of 2003 and halfway through the summer of 2004, I was dying. I mean, I was dying in my apartment. I had to eat all my meals in my bedroom, because in the bedroom at least I had I could use my air conditioner. In the living room I couldn't even use it, and because of all the dust, it ruined my air. I had to get a new air conditioner in my living room after that. Anyway, I digress. What happened was we had a lot of leftover material, and so the board had authorized Bill to go sell this extra aluminum or whatever other material that was left over for the terrace work, to go and sell it. And whatever money he could get for it, he was supposed to put it back in Big Six funds. So what he did, he did eventually sell it. I think he sold it for close to $4,000 or thereabouts. Instead of putting it, giving it to the, to the office, or here's the money I got for selling the aluminum, he opened up his own account in the Queens County Bank that we have here in the shopping center, and he created his own, what you call a community room or playroom account. I forgot the exact words. I forgot exactly what the wording for the account was that he created. And so the board found out, because the board was asking him, hey, where's the money you got from the sale of this aluminum? And he told, it was a Clubhouse account. That's what it was. It was a Clubhouse account. And they found out that that Bill created this Clubhouse account. So in case of the board, because for many years, Bill wanted to have a clubhouse in the basement room of Building 6. So it's like an after-school activities room. He always wanted to have something, for the kids, or a room. As a matter of fact, it was a room back in 1980, over 40 years ago, that my father and I used when I was in the Cub Scouts. Right, it's the same room. So what happened was, the board for some reason, never approved this clubhouse idea that Bill wanted. So he had the opportunity to take money for a clubhouse account, or to make this room into a Big Six clubhouse, for the kids, if and when the board ever decides to sign off on. Well, the board, to this day, so that has still had for over 25 years, has never signed off for this idea that Bill wanted, for some reason, because they're afraid of someone would get hurt, who's going to be responsible for it, and for the volunteers. That's why it was never, they didn't have enough volunteers for the clubhouse room. That's why it was never approved, or approved by the board, I should say. So Bill took this money and saved it for that possibility that the board would finally sign off on. And so the board says, if you don't return the money, you're going to be arrested, and you're going to face criminal and civil charges. You don't you return the money. So of course, what Bill could do was he returned the money. I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry that I have to tell you the story. I'm telling the story. I want to apologize to Bill right now. I'm sorry I'm telling you this story, telling this particular story, and this story is on the record, so I'm not making any of the stuff up. Because I want to apologize for telling the story, okay? Because I don't want you to get mad at me or anything else. Because that's burying the hash of all the stuff in the past, okay? But the truth of the matter is that it's, I'm not saying anything that's not the case. It's not true, because it is true. So because of that, Bill is not longer allowed on the Finance Committee or the Public Safety Committee because of these two incidents. Now, with Howard got away with all that stuff with me, like I said earlier, having me arrested and all that stuff, and having me, and not only having me arrested, but not, which he should not be on the Public Safety Committee because of that. Because I've been complaining for a while that for years that Bill has been having me followed with public safety. This is true. One particular public safety officer was actually videotaping me because I went into the maintenance shop to get glue traps, which they can give you. All you have to do is go in and ask, and they give you a couple of traps. Okay. So I was in there to get traps, and one of the public safety officers was in there videotaping me being in the shop. And was following me. And believe me, I complained about it. and since then it stopped doing it. But several times when public safety has been guarding the maintenance shop for me, like I'm Ted Bundy or something. Go in and kill everybody in the shop or whatever. Which is, I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's true. I mean they're following me around, and Howard's telling them to follow me around to make sure I'm not in the shop. And Howard himself goes into the maintenance shop, but several times a day. I mean, it's not just once a day. I've been going to the maintenance shop once a day is a lot, but he goes in several times, 3 or 4 times a day, demanding to know if I am in the shop that day. I'm not exaggerating. Okay, so you have that, and then you with the finance committee, with his screwing up with the water bill. Okay, that he pays more attention. If he had paid more attention to the bills of Big Six Towers, on the monthly bills of Big Six Towers, than he does with me, we wouldn't have had a problem with the water bill or anything else in terms of the financial situation. Because I know previous treasurers in the past, and they told me that their job is when the management pays the bills, on the bills, the treasurer sits in on those times when they pay the bills, and they check to make sure that all the money they spending is on the up and up. That's what the treasurer's job is, on the board. Unfortunately, Howard doesn't do it. Does not do that at all. Because to him, it's more important to know where I am than doing his job with the bills. And that's why I actually wrote to a board president, and I said to him, you have to be out of your mind to let this guy be on these 2 committees. Because he doesn't, because people say that I don't have to, that's one of the other arguments as to why I don't get elected, is that people feel like I don't have the temperament to be a board member. But what about the temperament that Howard has? That's fine, right? It's fine. He's Mr. Wonderful. He used to protect Ed Koch. I don't give 2 cents of who the hell he protected. He does not have the temperament to be a stinking board member. He doesn't. Especially since he's already been on the board. Now he's going to be on the board for 10 out of the last, I think, like 12 years. This jerk has been on the board. Okay, he screwed up royally when it comes to the the bills. He screwed up royally. He should not be under any. I mean, the year before, people didn't vote for him, but now, since I was on the ballot in the last election, people voted for him, which is a joke. Because if people had a choice between Howard and I for the board, if you ask 100 people, like I said earlier, about 99 of them will probably pick Howard. Oh, because he has, quote, experience. Well, you can take that experience and shove up his ass for all I can. I mean, excuse my language, but that's how I feel. And the frustration in me is coming out right now. But it's a joke. I have to say, it's an absolute joke for the 223 people who voted for Howard. You did I mean, if you don't want to vote for me, that's fine. I'm talking about the 223 people right now who voted for Howard. I'm singling those people out, whoever they may be. If you feel that he's, if you feel that I don't have the temperament, or whatever excuse you use not to vote for me, and you get over that. But why would you vote? Why did you vote for a piece of garbage like Howard? That's what I want. I still want an explanation as to why you rather have this piece of garbage on the board. There's no excuse whatsoever to put this piece of garbage back on our board. I know it's going along. It's almost 15 minutes now. So I can't believe I've been talking this long. I'm surprised I still have my voice left. But One of the other things that I might want to talk about for a minute, and I don't want to run late, want to get out of here late, is this whole stupid thing. I want to close this video out with this stupid snowman thing that was going on. Of course, some of you know the story already. For those of you who didn't see the post, it has to do with this woman named Colleen who lives directly above me. She was in charge of the trick-or-treating in the lobby of this past Halloween. And what was going on was, I even made a joke 2 months earlier, back in August, where she got offended by. And the joke was that we were in the elevator together with another person, and the third person says, "You two know each other." And I said, and Colleen said, "Yeah, he's beneath me." Meaning my apartment is directly beneath hers. Which is true. I mean, I'm not saying no. Because she's at 15H, I'm at 14H. So technically she's correct. But the way she said it was completely rude and completely disrespectful to anybody with connected brain cells. It's completely disrespectful the way she said. So I said to her, "You make it sound like it's a bad thing." Right? So she goes. This is how she spoke, by the way. I'm not exaggerating. "You're making a sexual joke. That's a sexual joke. You're making a sexual joke. I don't like sexual jokes." And even though I apologized right there and there, I apologized to her right there and there on the spot, but she didn't accept my apology. She just didn't. Fast forward 2 months later, she was doing the trick-or-treating in the lobby. I come down. My sister bought 4 bags of candy. The candy is so expensive now. It's approximately $40 that my sister and I spent on Halloween candy. Okay? She sees me sitting there. Mind you, I don't say a word to her. I don't say a word to her son. She sees me sitting there, and she calls public safety up and demands that they kick me out of the lobby. Public safety goes, "What do you want us to kick him out for? What did he do?" And Richard Ulrich, who's now a former board member now because it got term limited out, he was down in the lobby and he was defending me. And he goes, and he says to public safety, "Joe hasn't done anything. He's been down here as long as I've been down here. He hasn't done anything. All he did was he came down here to give out the candy that he bought to give out to the kids. He hasn't done anything down here." And Colleen knew that she's in the wrong on this, but she kept insisting to public safety to kick me out. So public safety wanted to know, so okay, why you want us to kick him out for? You have to have a reason to kick him out. And she goes, "Oh, because he's making sexual jokes." And they go, "What now?" I said, "No, 2 months ago." And so public safety, the public safety officer gave us such a look. I mean, it's unbelievable. He goes, "Wait a minute, you want me to kick him out for something he did 2 months ago?" She says, "Right. Because what he did 2 months ago, I want him out of here. I want him out. Get him out. Get him out." And she goes, "I spent money for all of this." Meaning the decorations in the lobby and the candy as well. Which I want to get to in a second. So public safety kicks me out, and to this day, I've been demanding that Colleen apologize to me. And it's been, what is it, 3 months? Almost 4 months now, since we're almost at the end of February. And she never apologized once in the 4 months. I apologized within 4 seconds. It's been almost 4 months, and she hasn't apologized to me at all. And she claims that everything that's in Building 3's lobby she bought and paid for. It's not true, folks, including the snowman. So getting to the snowman, I decided to send a message to her by unplugging the snowman. It's one of those inflatable decorations that you have to plug into an outlet, and in the snowman, and whether it's a snowman or Santa Claus or Rudolph, or whatever the hell, whatever the decoration is, there's a fan built into it. And when it's plugged in, the fan goes on and inflates air into wherever the inflatable character is. And basically. So I kept unplugging it, and other shareholders kept plugging it back in. And I do happen to have somebody wrote this note. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. Somebody actually posted this note. Please leave the snowman plugged in. When the little kids see this, they start crying. And my reaction to this note is, if a kid gets crying over a snowman that's not inflated, you should send the kid to the good psychiatrist. I mean, that's my opinion. But people were getting upset that was unplugging the snowman. And so one shareholder, I'm not gonna say who it is, because truthfully, don't know her name. That's number one. I'm not gonna mention her name on here. Anyway, she was actually taking pictures and video of me with this, unplugging the snowman, and she's getting her nose bent out of joint over it. People were getting mad at me, and the one who took the pictures of me doing it says, "Oh, that's why you can't get elected to the board because you do stuff like this." And I said, "Oh yeah, what about the stuff that Colleen has done to me?" That's okay, right? As long and this is true. As long as I get crapped on in Big Six Towers, that's all fine and good. When I defend myself, okay? When I decide to defend myself against these stupid accusations and these types of nonsense, or these type of confrontations, I'm the one who gets crapped on for it. Like, I'm not allowed to defend myself. I mean, that's part of my frustration as well. Is that I'm not allowed to defend myself. I'm not allowed to give my point of view or anything. I'm not allowed to yell and scream and carry on. But it's okay for other shareholders, and this is true. It's okay for other shareholders to yell and scream and get in my face and push me around. That's all fine. That's great. But I'm not allowed to defend myself. I mean, that's part of the double standard that's going on around here. And part of the mentality as to why I can get elected is because I have the nerve to defend myself, to answer back or to talk back to people who disrespect me. Okay? So every day for about a month or so, or over a month, this has been going on with the stupid snowman thing. So what happened was, eventually, because of the constant plugging in and plugging back out, the fan, the mechanism that's inside the snowman doesn't work anymore. Okay, so what happened was, Colleen found out about the thing that the snowman doesn't work anymore. So she goes into the management office and demands that I pay for the snowman, even though she never once saw me unplug the snowman. I'm talking about Colleen I'm talking about. She never once saw me pull the plug on the snowman. She never did. Okay? She never saw me personally pull the plug on, but she assumed it was me, because other people kept complaining about it and talking about it. So she goes in the office, and the management wanted to fine me $22 for that snowman. That's how much this thing cost, was like $22. That snowman's not even worth 22 cents, in my opinion. But the thing was for $22, and they want to fine me for it. They even sent me a letter in the mail for it. Actually, they sent a letter under my door. Actually, for it. My sister thought it was because for the election, for the board election. I said no, it's because of the snowman. And so I talked to a manager, property manager. I had a pleasant conversation, told him everything that happened, like I did here. Told him, I said, no, excuse me, what I did. I said, but at least I apologized for it. What Colleen did, she had me kicked out of the lobby, and for that joke, and almost 4 months later, she never apologized for it. So what the hell am I supposed to do? And so I'm just doing that's to retaliate. That's to send a message that what she did was wrong. Because I feel that if I typed the letter up and put it under her door, I feel that will make the situation worse. If I had written a letter to Colleen, asking her to apologize, demanding, I can't believe there's an hour video now, and so and to demand an apology, and if I did that, it would make the whole situation worse. If I extended the proverbial olive branch, I'm gonna make the situation worse. In my opinion, I think it will make, because with her temperament, and what makes it worse is that Colleen is a school teacher. She teaches kindergarten kids, the PS229. I mean, if I had a kid in her class, thankfully I don't have any kids, but if I had a kid in her class, I would pull the kid out of her class. Because I don't want my kid to be taught by somebody who refuses to apologize for doing something wrong. And that's what, and that's how I feel. I feel that she should apologize to me. And she refused to do it. Absolutely refuses to do it. And if you want to yell and scream that I was in the bad about it, if I was in the wrong about it, I mean that's your opinion on it, and you're entitled to it. But I just want you to know why I did what I did. Because I wanted to send a message to Colleen and to try to, in any way possible, because if I talk to her one-on-one, I know she's not going to apologize. She refuses to even discuss the situation with me, or to sit down in the management office, with the manager there or the assistant manager there, and just the three of us get together and try to solve this thing. And as far as I know, Colleen absolutely refuses to do so. And another thing, the snowman that all of you were complaining over, guess what, folks? Colleen did not own the snowman. It was not hers. What I mean by that is, of course, those of you in the past have seen posts that Colleen have been either on my page or on Alan's page saying, oh, please donate, if you will come down and donate decorations. Or for St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So any of you want to donate, for St. Patrick's Day decorations, come down and do it, and I post it. The thing is that she is one of 3 or 4 people in Building 3, who has permission to decorate the lobby. But most of the I'm sure now that most of the decorations are donated decorations, and the snowman was donated. It's not even hers. So long story short, the $22, I was never fined $22 because she can't complain that I damaged her decorations when her decoration was that snowman was somebody else's property and not her property. And I don't know who donated the snowman. I have no idea. And it says that it's not Colleen's. So Colleen can, if somebody takes down her decorations that's in the building lobby, Building 3's lobby, if anybody takes it down, Colleen's going to claim that's her decorations. I'm telling you now, the majority of those decorations are probably not even hers. I'm saying at least maybe 50% of the decorations are not hers. And somebody else's. So those of you who say, oh, Building 3 looks so nice. Yeah, it's so nice because majority of the decorations are not even Colleen's, it's somebody else's. It's just her and her son posts, hangs it up, and most of the decorations are somebody else's. Okay? So that's why I say that Colleen should not get any praise. That's why I posted previously, do not praise her at all, because she's not worth praising. Other buildings, I know what goes on in other buildings, and that's why you don't live in the other buildings. You just live in Building 3, and that's it. Excuse me, my sinus is acting up now. Her decorations are not worth photographing. That's why I don't. That's why I photograph the other buildings. I don't photograph hers because of what she did, be how she did it, and taking credit for other people's work. At least, you know, myself as a photographer, at least I take credit for all the photographs I've ever taken, and all the photographs I post on Facebook. It's all mine. It's all my photographs. And any photographs that I posted on Facebook, they're all, there's like thousands and thousands of photographs. They're all my photographs I posted. Sometimes I might link somebody else's post, but I'm not taking credit for that picture. Somebody else did. But especially pictures of celebrities or whatever. But I don't take credit for someone else's picture. I can't do that. Well, Colleen's been taking credit for other people's decorations, whoever, and she never at least, I have to give Bill, going back to Bill Kriegler for a second, at least when for Halloween, anybody who donates for the trick-or-treating in the lobby, at least Bill thanks them for it. Okay? But both Bill and Janet thank people who thank the shareholders who donated candy or decoration or whatever. At least he gives other shareholders credit and thanks them for taking their time, donating decorations or whatever. At least he thanks them for it. Colleen doesn't thank anybody. Not only does she never apologize for anything she did wrong, she never gives anybody credit for donating decorations. So she never apologizes. Now if I'm wrong, please feel on that point. Please feel free to post something on the after I post this video, this very long video, on the Facebook page. I'm just saying, please. I'm sure that I'm sitting here. Now Colleen is going to be picked again to do the Halloween trick-or-treating in the lobby this coming Halloween in 2023. I do hope, and if Bill and Janet are watching this video, and I hope you do. I know we're still a long way off from about 8 months from Halloween or Halloween season. Please don't pick Colleen anymore for the trick-or-treating in the lobby, please. And I'm asking you, please don't do it. If you want to pick somebody who is available the whole time, it's me. I'm going to be available then. At least, well, naturally you don't know what's going to happen 8 months from now. But I'm going to be available. Hopefully, it'll be available by then. And at least I'm the one who actually cares about Halloween, cares about the kids here. Colleen, well, all she cares about is taking credit for other people's work. I know it's a very long video. I'm sorry for that. So please, I want to thank you for your attention. And I'm sure and because it's such a long video, I might do another one for the page if I ever get time to do it, to explain further, especially with the Colleen situation. And other situations as to why I don't get elected to the board. I might do a second spoiler. Haven't decided yet because my voice is going. I can't talk anymore. So I want to thank you for your attention to this video. I do hope that if I, run again for this, for 2023. I can't believe that the election cycle is going to be so short this year because it took 3 months to get a quorum. I do hope that you will vote for me. And because if you want real change in Big Six Towers, you have to vote for me instead of keep voting for the same people over and over again. Because if you keep re-electing these people again and again and again and again and again, you're not going to have real change around here. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. The only way you get real change is by voting for people who've never been on the board before. And one way you can do that is to vote for me. And I'm like the Ron DeSantis of Big Six Towers. So I'm willing to hold people's feet to the fire, and treat all board members the same way. If Bill Clinton will be banned from 2 committees, why can't Howard Geary be banned from the same 2 committees? That's all I'm asking for is for the rules to be enforced against Howard Geary. And I don't want back to him, but it's true. The rules have to apply to everybody. You can't pick and choose who to enforce the rules against. And it's true. You can't pick on Bill for what he did, and not pick on Howard for what he did. Because what Howard did was worse than what Bill Krieger did, in my opinion. And you know, it has to take an awful lot for me to defend anybody. You know, in general, it really had to take a lot for me to defend Bill over Howard. Okay, especially with our history, which I'm not going to get into. I got into it briefly before, but I'm not going to get into it again. But you have to enforce the rules against everybody. If the rules are good for one board member, in case former board member, you have to enforce against the other board members. The other 8 or the current 9 board members, you have to enforce it against every single board member that's there. You have to do it. You can't pick and choose. You know, who to enforce the rules against. You just can't do it. I want to thank you all for your attention, and catch you next time. It's going to be a pain to upload this thing. I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry it's over an hour long. I'm sorry about that, but I like to go into details and this stuff, and I'm sorry about it, and I'm sorry that I rubbed people the wrong way, but you know, I refuse to be disrespectful to people. That's all it is. I refuse to be disrespected. Okay? If you want me to respect you, you have to respect me and my opinions. Okay? You may not like my opinions, but you have to respect them. And I want to thank you all of you for watching, and catch you next time.